At the Melbourne Cricket Ground, a Messiah moment is at hand.
2 years ago, this night was all about Chris Judd.
He is a superstar of the game, and who would have thought that he'd be here, captain of Carlton.
Last year, his old West Coast colleague, Ben Cousins.
So another chapter in Ben Cousins' life is about to be written.
Eagles, having flown their former coupe, had owned the headlines for the season opener. And while Richmond, under its new coach, will have many eyes on it as another season begins, expectations' uncertain glare will be trained upon these Blues tonight.
From any angle, the Blues' fingers on the Lions' face didn't look good.
How will they cope without their skipper?
I've got a heavy heart. I've been through a lot with Brendan personally over 11 years. He's been a fantastic player at this footy club. When we come to the decision, he put him up for trade.
Where will the goals come from without Big Fev? Will last year's momentum continue? Or has their off-season of discontent, booze-fueled boat trips and senior player suspensions taken the wind from their sails? Expectations remain high. A new home. All that top-end talent.
Quite happy to take on responsibility at Carlton, and that is why.
Cruiser, who started it all with the tap, and he ends it all with the monster.
He normally finishes very well. This is no exception.
It is right to expect the Blues begin 2010 with a win. Oh, how the arch-rival, such an underdog here, would love to plant the first seed of doubt in Carlton's campaign.
And out come the Blue Baggers, a tumultuous pre-season for Carlton, as you've just seen. They were 7th last season. Can they take the next step in 2010? As I say, hello and welcome to the MCG. It is the season opener. It is Richmond versus Carlton. Matthew Lloyd, welcome.
Thanks, Quartus.
Well, let's have a look at the Carlton lineup. What do you think of it? Where are they going to get their goals? That's what the question everyone's asking.
I really like their setup early in the match. They're going with Jared Wade at full forward, Lockie Henderson at centre forward and Halpin in the pocket, and down back Jamison, who missed 11 games last year. He's the key to their defence.
And as we said, no Chris Judd. He is serving a 3-match suspension at the start of 2010. Out come the Tigers, a start of a new era, a new coach who you know very well in Damien Hardwick, who's described this year as a season of transformation.
It is, and he's a hard nut, Damien Hardwick, and they'll come out ferociously hard at the Blues. 4 new first gamers, and 3 of them are starting on the ground, which is really exciting.
And we saw before the game legend Matthew Richardson do a lap of honour. 17 seasons, 13 times their leading goal kicker, which even surpasses your record of 12.
He has. He got me by 1, but there's never been a more loved player in modern day football. An absolute superstar, and it was great to be down on the ground before the match.
And a great touch before the game too. He was in the rooms giving out the jumpers to the 4 new faces.
Saw Mitch Farmer there, is absolutely ecstatic, looking into Richo's eyes, receiving his jumper. Amazing feeling when you play your first game. And Roberts, he's come from Euroa. He's been everywhere to get his moment tonight.
What about the Tigers lineup?
Yeah, I like the defence in Moore, McGuan and Thursfield down back. Rewalt and Morton are really important, and Cousins adds experience off the bench.
As the game is about to start, the Tigers and the Blues. There's a countdown on the scoreboard. 2, 1, blast off! Game on! 2010 season underway. Mitchell Robinson crashing in. A whistle. And a Carlton free kick, and it is Robinson to take it. He came in very hard off the square.
And he started last year in a blaze of glory with 3 goals on debut against the Tigers. As the Blues have possession and work it slowly but surely forward. Here's Heath Scotland, one of the veterans of the competition now.
Early touch by Brock McLean, that's good.
Lead on from Betts. He, in the end, stands aside and lets Jared Wade take the mark, which would put a smile on the face of every Carlton supporter, Tim Lane. Back after a knee reconstruction, Robert was very happy.
Yes, and I just looked at Matty Lloyd, and Carlton would be delighted. Their first pass into their forward line hits Wade on the chest.
Jared Wade kicks for goal, and the perfect start for him and the Blues. Beautiful lead, Matthew Lloyd, wasn't it?
It does a lot for your confidence, Quarters. It doesn't matter how long you've played, but when you're coming back from a knee reconstruction, there is nothing better than getting a pass late out from Heath Scotland. He's a beautiful user of the football. So it's a great setup. Eddie Betts and Jared Waite deep in the forward line, and it's a huge job for Mitch Farmer on Eddie Betts deep in the goal square.
They've only got 2 players in this Carlton team tonight who average a goal a game, and Eddie Betts is one and Jared Waite is the other. And a great return to senior football for Jared Waite, who missed much of last year with that terrible knee injury. Other good sign for the Blues is Brock McLean getting an early touch.
Well, for that to happen in the first minute of the season is just what the doctor ordered for Carlton. Simmons and Cruz are the ruckman. Scotland, who got the kick into Waite, but he couldn't contain it that time. Jackson could. How will it bounce? It bounces pretty well, but Thornton in his 150th just got back in the nick. And it's a behind.
Brett Thornton playing game 150 tonight, a great achievement considering he was a rookie elevation, so great value for money for Carlton from Brett Thornton. The mark's taken by Simpson, who hasn't missed a game in 4 years. Some sort of record. Back to Thornton, who switches. And the mark's taken by Jamison. Not the best of kicks, but beautiful use of the body by Gibbs. You heard the umpire, it was a legitimate mark. Now he'll switch back to the members' side, to the acting captain tonight in Carazzo.
Carlton looking composed and skilled early. Yaron, second season player. And Waite on the lead, has it again. Too far out this time. Carlton playing precision footy. And Robinson picks it up, or rather Henderson picks it up low down. So Carlton's other key forward, Waite on the comeback trail. Henderson on the come down from Brisbane in the trade for Favola. And wouldn't this be the start for Carlton if their other key could kick a goal?
Gone with 3 tools, and Henderson, Waite and O'Halpin. 3 big fellas in the forward 50.
The boy from Birregurra. That is a magnificent kick, and the Blues have 2 straight.
Three and a half minutes into the game, and do the Blues look sharp? Yet to miss a disposal anywhere around the ground. Yep, okay.
Lockie Henderson, 15 games for the Lions, part of the Favola deal, down playing for Carlton. First goal of his new club, and it's the Blues by 11. Simmons to tap, and he follows up his own work. Well done. To Edwards to half forward. Nahas is there for Richmond, getting their first though as Russell for the Blues, going in hard. For Richmond was Thompson, but it's a Carlton possession through Joseph to Thornton. And again, the Blues show patience as they work it to the wing. Here's Carazzo to the 50, and another beautiful pass, and the mark's taken by the third tool, O'Halpin, who wastes no time into the pocket, but that's a poor kick from the big man.
4 minutes into the game, it's been 21 disposals to the Blues, only 3 to the Tigers, and they've been beautiful by foot right up until that kick by Satanta O'Halpin.
This is Mitch Farmer to Richmond from Port Adelaide, Thursfield. Tigers deep in defence here, but Cousins with composure and skill unlocks the door. Went for more, but a good healthy fist on it from McLean. Yaron, skillful play to keep it alive, but to no result. Hislop, Jackson, Moore, Cousins again. And the champion gains territory with a canny little kick. Houlihan for Carlton, one of the summer bad boys. That's not a bad kick. In fact, it's a beauty, and it finds Joseph, who was a real surprise for them last year. Off the rookie list, didn't miss a game. Jamison, who did with some injuries, is a key to their defence. He gives to Gibbs, and Carlton continue to use the ball exceptionally well early.
Well, they're switching very well in that defensive 50 from one side to the other.
Kick finds Simpson, who's off and running. Squares it up to Cruiser. He dishes off to Murphy. 50 55 out, bangs for goal, and gets it. Oh, the Blues have come out all guns blazing.
They look very sharp, the Blues, and too many Richmond players trailing in on the cruiser. 10 metres into space, and Mark Murphy too easy, so Richmond needs someone to do something and tighten up.
And Brock McLean, for the second time in the early stages of this game, marking unopposed. Just too easy for him. Need to tighten up, Richmond midfielders.
Carlton have come out like a team on the rebound after a bad loss. Everyone's been talking them down, and they've got a point to prove. Here's Vickery, second-year Tiger. Thornton right with him. Vickery brought down.
Matty, what do you think about Vickery starting and Morton being on the interchange bench? Morton, their leading goal kicker last year.
He's now on the ground, Morton. They've just brought him on, but Brett Thornton, Vickery's the ideal opponent because Thornton loves laying off his opponents.
Cruiser beats Vickery in the ruck contest. Carazzo the takeaway for the Blues. Thornton gives it back to him. The 100-gamer and the 150th. Now Simpson. Carlton with a little bit of time to spare. Paul Bowers, a left footer. Forced to use the right. Hopes for Betts. That was a clever kick. And Betts makes it even better than that. Here's Murphy again. The Blues are on another build. Scotland. Robinson. Scotland. Carlton doing everything right. The former Magpie sets it up. Henderson couldn't hang on. Deledio makes the takeaway and finds first gamer Relton Roberts.
Roberts deep in defence. Good kick, little and finds Cochin. Troubled with the Achilles last year. Let's hope he can have a good healthy season for the Tigers. Little chip short to Thompson, who now drills it long inside 50. Setting himself is Morton. Carlton have the extra number in Thornton. Throw in.
The Blues have, every time they've got the ball, they've had someone running into space. The Tigers, that was their first foray forward, and that looked a bit stagnant early, moving into the forward 50.
They haven't got a ruckman here, the Tigers. Terrible setup there by Richmond.
And Carazzo was called high advantage paid. Wasn't much of an advantage, but they're off and running now. Carlton again. Scotland short to Simpson. They're just racking up the stats at the moment, the Blues players. Just chasing tail, Richmond. Smother on the mark was by Edwards. Here comes Houlihan after a good weight shepherd. And another good kick to half forward. And is that a free kick to Walker? No. Play on. White, good hands to Simpson. The Blues build again. Simpson in two minds. Not a great kick off the side of the boot. Let himself down there, and it's mopped up by Deledio, who hasn't got much on offer, and goes back into the goal square by hand.
Thursfield goes the long option, and Hislop couldn't quite hang on. Anderson's got it for the Blues, but well tackled. Hislop, having failed to take the mark, wasn't going to let his opponent get away with the footy.
The disposals, Tim, 48-18.
Matty, does it annoy you when midfielders have a bounce and your first lead is usually your best is mucked up?
Yeah, they could have got another shot on goal there, the Blues.
Simpson just shouldn't have gone that bounce.
Gives to McLean. Very good earlier. Helping there. Couldn't hang on. Got it. Satanta running it, rolling it, going it. The Blues have four. They're all in the act. Waite, Henderson, O'Halpin, and Murphy's kicked the other one.
For 6 months we've been asking ourselves, where are they going to get the goals without Favola? And the three talls have gone with it. It was a fantastic setup with Eddie Betts at their feet, and they could not have asked for a better start. The Richmond midfield has to start getting their hands on the ball because they're putting too much pressure on the young Tigers defence.
Dacos, O'Halpin.
Yeah, and there's that bounce by Simpson, and it just mucked the Carlton forwards up. He carried the ball too long. Richmond defenders able to cover, and yeah, it looks good for the player with the football, but a forward's best lead is usually his first lead, and you have to honour that.
Cousins jams it on the left, and with a bit of luck finds Morton. Might be in with a chance here to kick the goal. The big wind-up from 55. He unloads a monster, but it's offline and through for a point.
Well, Morton kicked 41 goals last year, career best effort by him. Morton and Riewoldt given the opportunity in Richo's absence, and I just thought he showed a lot. surprised he started on the bench.
Mark taken by Robinson on defensive 50.
Thanks, Jack. That's it.
It's been 23 Carlton marks to 5 to the Tigers. Just shows how well they're using the ball and getting each other into the game.
And Russell's kick goes back to Robinson, who drives it down the members' wing to half forward, and that's a great one-hander taken by Walker. Into the pocket. Betts has found some space. Good spoil by Moore. And the acting captain for Carlton just making his, as Richo watches on, making his presence felt early in the match. Ooh. Just as well he missed. That was a fair swat.
There is a reportable offence called attempting to.
Yeah. Cousins. Now Hislop. Oh, it's messy for Richmond already. Bad signs early. Wait to Murphy. Kicks into the pocket. Eddie Betts couldn't take the one-hander. Farmer grabs him. He's trying to spin out of trouble. Does well to get boot to ball. Not the required distance. Play on is the call. Newman's run down. Desperate times for the Tigers in defence. It spills over to McLean. It's another one for Carlton. Could be a long year, Tim, for that man.
Didn't take long for him to find out how it feels.
Well, Damien Hardwick, welcome to senior AFL coaching. Carlton's jumped out of the blocks with 5 goals. Not only 5 goals, but goals to the players you want to get amongst the action. Waite, Henderson and Brock McLean with that last one.
Too high. Richard Tambling, your free kick against you, Andrew. Forearm into the head.
Sean Ryan calling that, grand final umpire. Tambling's free kick. The Tigers desperate for a goal. Desperate for some breathing space, some oxygen in the game. Simmons long into the 50, Rewalt couldn't hang on. Mason was there. Is that a hold to Hislop? It wasn't. A lot of navy blue jumpers converge. There'll be a ball up.
Came out the back and then back under. Straight up, guys.
What an emphatic start by Carlton.
And not only that, Tim, Robbie Warnock, number 11, his first game for the Blues. There's Cruiser's come off. He'll come back on and replace Warnock in the ruck any minute. He's rucked for the first 15 minutes as Warnock.
Rewalt pinching it off Warnock's hand. Now Hislop has another go, and the Tigers have their first. They've conceded 5, but they have one.
Have a look at the Richmond forward setup. Jack Rewalt, one out. They've got a player in front of him, but you cannot ask for a better setup than that. The Richmond midfielders need to get their hands on the footy.
Fine. These guys straight up. Straight up.
It'll be Warnock against Simmons. Warnock reaches over the top, got the tap. Scotland somehow prizes the ball out of the pack, and a beautiful bullet-like handball to Carazzo, who gives it off to Walker, who goes into the pocket looking for Betts.
What I've liked about the Blues early is they've been in probably 2 contests where they could easily trail in and let Richmond take a mark, but they've been on them at every occasion, whereas Richmond just seem to be second-guessing themselves and being second to the ball on every occasion.
Cruiser works his way to the front. Good tap to Betts. Couldn't get a boot on it. And here's Martin. The hot draft pick for Richmond. Gives it off to another first gamer for the Tigers and Farmer. And there's another one in Relton Roberts, and he's off and running. Gets past Henderson and kicks to half forward. Revolt has found some space. Kicks poor, smothered off the boot. And a throw in about 75 out from the Tigers' goal.
He looks good on the burst, doesn't he, Rob?
He's got a bit of toe. Good to see him back himself.
Warnock taking it comfortably out of the air. Simpson. Houlihan. Carazzo. Tambling has him covered. He played on. Has to get rid of it and had no one to give to. Now Nahas as the Tigers reload. Kick another and they could just start to get a bit of a feel for this. This is Connors kicking into the corridor. Can be dangerous. Nason did just enough. As though his season might have been over when he hurt his knee in Launceston, but here he is playing in round one. That's a bad fumble by Farmer. Time to mop it up. Thursfield. McGuan. Now the Tigers build a little more carefully. Hislop again, who kicked their opening goal. Now the captain, Newman, to Cousins. Low, flat kick. Didn't have enough penetration. And Waite in the back half.
He pushed back 10. I watched Jared Waite. He left the half forward line, saw they were under siege, got back to be an extra number, and it worked.
Kicks in the Cruiser direction.
Last minute or so, Rob, we've seen the young players of Richmond get themselves into the game, but when you're 4 or 5 goals down early in a match, you need your senior leaders, Cousins, Newman, to get their hands on the footy and give some direction.
Well, they've only got 4 players with 100 games experience, Richmond. Delidio, Simmons, Newman and Cousins.
Andrew, you're under pressure, mate.
Would you put them all in the centre bounce now for the experience, or do you give the young blokes a go?
Look, I think you've got to give the young blokes a chance. This is going to be a tough year for Richmond, so you know they're not going to make the 8, so you give the young blokes opportunity.
Houlihan over to Anderson.
And I think that they then realise that the coach is showing some confidence in them, and young blokes need confidence.
And Thornton's kick finds Bauer and goes to Waite.
Is where Richmond have got to close them up, put some pressure on, one-on-one football. Bauer
short and sideways to Thornton, who's just knocking up getting possessions in the first quarter. It's for Anderson. Well, that's not bad for Richmond, Matthew.
They were fortunate their quarters, but that disposal should have been hit, and they're trailing in. They're just giving 5 metres on their opponent every time. They can't afford to do that.
No ruckman.
Yep. And the man going up was Simpson. Nahas somehow managed to evade a couple of tackles and gets bowled over by Simpson. Fed it out to Simmons. He's knocked over by Robinson, and now coming through the footy is Houlihan.
And Carlton could make something of this. O'Halpin, awkward half volley, had Murphy going past. They didn't make anything of it, but Houlihan kept coming and gives Murphy another go at it. Carazzo, Cruiser, attacking football now from the Blues, and Yaron runs in and misses. Or does he? He's kicked it. He's kicked the Blues 6th, and they lead by 28.
And that young man in picture, I think he could be a star for Carlton. Came across a year ago, unfit, only played half a dozen senior games, but Chris Yaron is all class, just needed to get the body right, and I think we'll see a different player this year.
And I'll ask Matthew Lloyd in a minute, because it looks like Troy Simmons is having all sorts of troubles trying to keep up with Cruiser, who's shaken him a couple of times up in the forward 50. Whistle, and it's a hold, and it's going Richmond's way. Matthew?
Yeah, no, you're spot on. I could not believe the size of a man in his 4th year of football, or could even be his 3rd. He's just a ginormous man, and he's been dominant just not only with his ruck taps, but working around the ground, even on this occasion, spoiling also.
Yeah, he closed down on Simmons there. Brought the ball to ground. He has another go at Cruiser as the 2 go at it. Oh, the boys are having a dip early in the season.
Simmons is frustrated because the kid's too quick for him.
He is. As Henderson comes in and flies the flag. Meantime, Jackson for the Tigers puts it inside 50. Looks for Morton against Bauer. And he tries to hack it out of midair. Can't do so. So she's on at the MCG. There's Simmons and Cruiser.
That's good from Simmons, I reckon. Rob may as well get in the young bloke's head. If he can't beat him on the run, may as well do that.
Well, he can't beat him at football. Michael beat him in wrestling.
Cruiser uncontested there. Rewalt saw it coming. Scotland for Carlton. Hislop. He's a feisty customer. Came at him hard.
And that's what Tom Hislop's in the side for. He's kicked an early goal. He shanks every second kick or so, but his pressure is as good as any player in the Richmond side.
So Rewalt with the rucking job here up forward. Leaves it to Cruiser, but this time it works for Carlton. Scotland and Walker and Carazzo. Now Yaron, but he's under siege. Deledio did that well. Morton put it in the right spot. Carlton with the numbers. Comfortable in the end for Jordan Russell.
And peeling off here is Joseph. He takes the uncontested mark just inside defensive 50.
Joseph always gets a slippery small forward. Robin Nahas, his opponent tonight.
Mark taken by Russell, who goes to the members' side. And Thornton again. Disposal number 7 and mark number 5. As the mark's now taken by Warnock.
Carazzo's had 10 possessions early in the match.
Cousins and Jackson 5 apiece for the Tigers.
Rob, in the tap-outs, Richmond haven't had a ruckman in their forward 50 3 times in this first quarter.
Yeah, they've really let themselves down. They haven't been organised at all. The other thing you worry about, Matty, is players like Rewalt and Morton being forced to do ruck work. They're not big enough, they're not strong enough. They just get monstered by the likes of Warnock.
Warnock back to Walker. Kicks to a contest. Big fist came from Vickery. Jackson couldn't trap it. Now the Tigers have got it. Here's Deledio. Back to Jackson, who pumps it long. Rewalt in good posse here. Was being held. Doesn't matter. Suckers it off the ground for a goal.
Well, Brett Ratton said Carlton might be a bit more stop-start this year than last. Might just rein in the all-out attack. Well, they got themselves into trouble there on that wing. Warnock had the ball twice. Both times waited, played defensively, and in the end they muffed it.
They say you should never kick to a ruckman, Tim, and you look for runners to be coming past Cruiser there.
Smart goal by Rewalt, but there's Deledio over to Jackson, and in my book, Richmond's 2 best players, and when they're in good form, things can happen for the Tigers. We saw them combined there on the wing. Well done.
So after an opening onslaught from Carlton, Richmond have got themselves into the game, and they win the ball here in the middle. Deledio gives it to Thompson, and back to Deledio, and the best and fairest of the last 2 years kicks the Tigers third.
Big fight in the middle, Tim.
Well, it's on now. It's game on, and it's box on.
Clear away! Clear away!
Margin back to 16 points.
Oh, it's a Fenwick and melee now.
Let it go! Let it go! Come on, get on with it! Let's go! Get out your positions! Mitch, nothing more!
There's 4 minutes left in this quarter, and you love seeing now which team reacts better after a Barney like that. And Brett Deledio is often maligned as a player, but he's won 2 best and fairest, and that was a great goal to get the Tigers back in this match.
The next 4 minutes, Matty, who will keep their eyes on the ball, because the heat is on. They're coming at you from all angles.
It's generally the more experienced side, so I expect it to be Carlton, but it's been a great 5 minutes for the Tigers.
Here's Tambling, gets to the football first. Desperate was Connors. Coming out with it was Carazzo. Murphy, the wild handball, was a good one in the end. It found Scotland, who gives it off to Simpson. Simpson back to Carazzo. And floater to Betts.
Well, what they're trying to do, it's obvious they're trying to hit targets as they go forward. They're not bombing the ball. This is the start of the fight about a minute or so ago.
It's Vickery holding a midfielder down. It's often a tactic in football, not letting the mids get up and run to the next contest.
And he brought him down strongly too, which I think might have just fired things up in the first place. Connors for the Tigers, really getting a sniff of the MCG air now. Morton let the ball go, needed better from him than that. Nahas there to help out. Morton again, and Nahas again, and the Tigers are building again. Rewalt gets the better of Jamison, clean collect. Disciplined kick. Gives Hislop half a chance. You need to be good. Well tackled by Russell. Morton knows how to kick a goal, and he might have done it. He has. Tigers are in the game. It's back to 10 points. They've kicked 4 of the last 5. And Damien Hardwick now knows the exhilaration.
He did, and I've seen him win 2 premierships as a player. Tommy Hislop, good tackle by Jordan Russell. He's been good early in the game. He's looked Joey Anderson. He hasn't got his eyes on the ball. And his opponent here, Mitch Morton, is more experienced, and you make good players make you pay. Joey Anderson's got to keep his eye on the ball next time.
And just back to the action in the centre. Here's Edwards coming in on the left, and ooh.
Titch Edwards, he's built some muscles over summer.
Not very subtle, was it?
And, well, we could have a look at that, and there's plenty of grappling and holding going on, but let's not forget Jack Riewold's effort to spin his opponent round on the half-forward flank and centre that ball, put it in a position where a goal could be kicked.
Gibbs, it's a hot footy at the moment. Quick kick by Gibbs was smothered. Murphy, good tackle by Jackson. Umpire says play on. Martin to his captain in Newman, who kicks to the wing. The chase is on. Anderson will get there first. Cochin hot on his heels. He's got Gibbs in support. And in the end, just steadies things down and finds Warnock.
If Warnock goes backwards, I'm starting to think that's all he can do.
Dishes off to Gibbs, who, with good vision, kicks to the outer side of the ground to Houlihan. And finding some room here is Simpson.
Carlton building their attacks from out wide. It worked well early, but it's unlikely to all night. Betts has got problems there. Numbers heavily against him.
Pretty ordinary Simpson kick into the forward 50.
It was, but their accountability and their pressure is lifted, and that's what happens. Turnovers happen, and in the last 5 minutes, Richmond are winning more of the footy.
Bruiser clean win. McLean wearing Brett Ratton's old number for the Blues. And there'll be a ball up.
Guys, straight up.
These are 2 teams that were setting their focus on defence a little more this year. A lot more in Richmond's case. It hasn't actually started like that. We've had a 10-goal opening quarter. It's been a thriller.
Thanks, Brock.
5 to the Blues in the first 13 minutes. Tigers have kicked 4 of the last 5 and got themselves right back into the game. Chance for Carlton from the forward pocket. Simpson scrambling a kick from there. Touch ball behind. Carlton by 11 points.
That's what confronts Chris Newman. Kicks to himself. Drills to a one-on-one. Hislop against Houlihan over their heads in the end. Nason lays the tackle on Anderson. It was a good one too. Beautiful spin out of trouble by Russell. But here's Nason. Looks like he should be surfing rather than playing footy. But he did well there. Walker to Carazzo. Deft little sidestep. And now to half forward. And the kick finds Murphy. Who chips. And
Did he make it?
Who's the mark? Who's he paying it to? He's paying it to Betts.
And I would have gone the other way, Rob.
I thought it was Betts. I thought Betts got first go, then a Richmond go, and then Betts third go. We'll have to have a look at the replay.
Tigers fans not
The
happy.
passion of the Tiger. Who marked it?
Yeah, I reckon you'd give it to the Richmond player or a
Man in
ball
front.
up.
No, it's a ball up.
Yeah.
Because Edwards had first crack at it there, and then Eddie's pinched it.
Controversial mark awarded to Eddie Betts. From 30 metres out, he makes no mistake. Well, you're right, Rob. I mean, technically, the man in front, and it's not the man in front, a ball up would have been a good result there.
Have a look at it again. Edwards pinched by Betts. Both fall on the footy. Umpire bounce it.
You're a man of reason in these situations, Tim.
Not much reason required there. I think our eyes tell us the story.
Yeah.
Wasn't a good decision.
See here, this was either a Richmond mark, but we all agree, I think that was a ball up with, he didn't probably hold it long enough, and that's a killer for the Tigers. It's a big 50 seconds for him to finish this quarter off well.
Bad luck for Richmond. They didn't deserve that. They've really had the better of the last 10 or 12 minutes. Carlton get a lucky goal, and they'll build the attack here. Murphy goes for Betts again. Edwards climbing over him. Betts needed to lay the shepherd for Waite. Just couldn't get away from Moore. Still a chance for Carlton to apply some pressure. The old rush behind rule. They've forgotten about it. And the Tigers are away. Farmer goes for Nahas, but getting the hand on the footy was Joseph. Joseph throw-in.
I reckon we've worked out who's replaced Fev. Eddie Betts. They've passed it to Eddie 6 times on the lead in this first quarter.
That'd be telling me, Rob, the big fella's got to work harder and get in the vision.
Oh, Martin's been pinged. So time for Carlton here. Walker bangs it long and hopes for the best. Oh, almost a mark to O'Halpin. And that's a free kick for a high tackle. And that will end a very spectacular first quarter with the Blues getting the flyer, the Tigers fighting back, and plenty of fisticuffs, Matthew Lloyd.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic quarters, and now it's the big job for the Tigers is how long can they maintain it for. But Damien Hart would be proud of his young side. It was a fantastic fight back in that second part of the quarter.
It is the Blues by 17 points, and there was a few sneaky ones thrown in that first quarter. There's cameras everywhere. Got to be careful in the modern game.
Blues by 17 as the second term starts. An 11-goal opening quarter to the season. Murphy was in the midst of everything for Carlton, and so was McLean, and so was Carrazzo, who was the season's first double figures possession earner. Warnock for Carlton had an uneasy time, did the right thing there, just banged away. Connors gets back for Richmond. They're still under the pump. Edwards, he's changed from Titch to Butch Wolsey. Connors clears for the Tigers and puts it out on the full.
Well, he has. He's got himself big and strong as Titch Edwards, and he had a pretty good season last year. So too Richard Tamling, standing the mark, featured in the top 5 of Richmond's best and fairest. Came of age.
Did Gary March have a point on Ben Cousins in relation to all of us?
I don't think so.
Carrazzo concedes some territory and goes back to find Bauer. Now Thornton. They had plenty of it in the first quarter. His kick finds Joseph.
Tamling's just had the one disposal, but he's had 7 tackles, so he can keep that up. Fantastic, but he's got to win more of the footy.
Joseph in the Warnock direction. Simmons is there to spoil. He'll much prefer Warnock as an opponent than Cruiser.
This happened in the first quarter. Looks like a bit of a blind punch by Jared Waite that actually connected.
Can you plead your innocence? You didn't know where you were throwing it?
You got the wrong bloke.
Yeah, I think he did.
They still hurt. So the ball inside Carlton's 50. First fill. In fact, it's McGuane will have to be clever here. And it's a hot footy right in front of Carlton's goal. Have a bounce.
Some good strong tackling there. Mitch Robinson, I think, number 12, coming in from the right. Bang, cop that.
Cruiser the tap. Here's Betts. Couldn't trap it. Throw in.
Outbody him in there, Matty Cruiser. Outbody Troy Simmons. More experience. He's got to get a bit stronger in these contests.
Got 2 ruckmen here, yeah. Warnock and Cruiser.
And Thursfield makes it 4 as the ball spills to Murphy. And, gee, that was an easy goal. Well, that was a bit matter of fact, wasn't it? 2 goals to Murphy.
Well, last year, Carlton clearances in the forward 50 for goals, ranked number 1. Opportunist now, Mark Murphy. Last year amongst the goals, kicking 31.
Troy Simmons' last 2 efforts haven't been great. He's got to get harder and stronger against younger opponents in the centre bounce.
Murphy Carlton's 3rd most productive goal kicker last year, and he leads the field tonight. Has 2, and that one acquired just too easily. So the Blues have stretched it again to 23 points. Tigers the most heavily scored against team in the comp last year, and everyone in Tigerland concedes they have some work to do in the defensive aspect of their game. Carlton, good takeaway. Scotland with twinkle toes puts the Blues deep into the 50. O'Halpin, McGraw brings him down, and Connors mops it up for Richmond. And he's been busy, Tom Hislop, the former Bomber. Came to Essendon from the northwest coast of Tassie. Finds Nahas. Almost presented McLean with an interception. Jackson, though, back towards Nahas, but they're doing it under pressure now. Nahas fights on. Tambling and Jackson help him out, but Carlton continue to turn the screw. Gibbs goes back after giving it up, and it might be Carlton's ball yet. Anderson got himself out of bother after fumbling at the first attempt. Betts and Edwards, been a great contest. Betts wins this one. Yarran, right then left. Clever. Simpson, Gibbs from 70 out, goes for O'Halpin. The Irishman couldn't pick it up. McGraw leads him to it. O'Halpin fights back. Didn't go the left footer. Betts over the top. Cruiser got the hands on it, couldn't hang on. Betts gets the goal. Carlton get their 9th, and the lead is out to 29 points.
Eddie Betts, 6 disposals, and now his 2nd goal. You just cannot keep him out of the game. And young Mitch Farmer, he's got his work cut out for him tonight. But look, you see, I like Kelmore and I like the tall defenders, but it's the smalls there that have got to keep up and make that 2nd effort to not allow that Connors trailing in there. Cruz has been influential all night, and Eddie Betts, 2nd, 3rd efforts. That boxing's worked for him over the summer, Wolsey.
Well, he had a terrific year last year, Matty.
Oh, he's been good, but he got to kick up the backside over summer, and he looked very fit.
Well, I think all of those Carlton players who got into a bit of strife just on Christmas have set themselves to have big seasons, answer in the only way that they can, and that is by performing well. But what we've also seen with Eddie Betts is that he can win contests. He can beat an opponent 1 out.
Blues lead by 9, 5 goals now. On the bottom of all that is Thompson. And there's Nahas. Hunting in packs at the moment. The Blues, Anderson gets bowled over. A little soccer play by Revolt. And Joseph sees it safely over the line.
And Eddie Betts winning contests. Here's another example of it. This was the lead up to the goal. Just bodied himself, brought it down with 1 hand, and look at him hurry back, scamper back towards the goals.
Warnock with a little toe poke kick. McLean take his eyes off the footy and won it in the end. That's good effort from Brock McLean, and a nice crisp handball to Robinson. The Blues away again here. Yes, they are. They're running rampant through the middle. Murphy's got options everywhere. Draws the player, dishes off. Yarran for goal.
Oh,
good by Carlton.
I've got a question for you.
Good stooge, good stooge.
I've got a question for Matty Lloyd. If you had been Eddie Betts, do you mark it?
Yeah, you act like you didn't know whether you're in front of the points or the goals in your market, Rob.
Well, Matty Lloyd, I've got a question for you. You're Eddie Betts. You're in the goal square. Eddie lets it go over his head. What's Matty Lloyd
doing? He got it wrong. He should have acted like he was in front of the points and marked it and said, I didn't know.
Henderson bombs in the Warnock direction, but...
And that's a disappointing kick. It's a really disappointing kick from a young fella who just, you've got to put it into the corridor there. If you're going to kick it long, you don't kick it long towards the boundary line. He'll learn. Hasn't played many games in the forward line.
Jackson to Martin. Goes for Tambling. Matthew Lloyd said a lot of tackles, but not a lot of the footy so far. In fact, this is just his second disposal of it. Cleverly weighted kick for Cousins. Couldn't escape cleanly, but was able to do enough to provide Cochin with a chance. Forced wide. Morton couldn't hang on. Good pressure, Jamison. He's a defender's defender.
They hugged the boundary line from back pocket to wing to forward pocket, the Tigers.
Rob, just watch Ben Cousins here. They reckon he saw the Blue boys and they've been into him since the start of the second quarter. They feel they can get on top of him, and he's a real barometer of the Richmond side.
Gee, they are having a go at him, aren't they? So they reckon he saw, well, he's been in hospital a couple of times with stomach problems. They'll test him out.
Tigers working inside 50. Spills to Houlihan. Now Joseph, Thornton to Waite.
Been their trademark tonight, this run.
Well, again, he's gone wide. He really didn't have anything to go to. Richmond supporters think it was deliberate. I think it was too.
Let's see if they get a ruckman here, the Tigers. Yeah, Troy Simmons working his way over.
We'll do the rucking against Robinson, and it was an easy win for Simmons. Now, Connor's got his head clipped there, and he gets a free kick. Kick to halfback Moore. Oh, good pressure from Eddie Betts, but Moore's up to the challenge. Not a lot on offer. He kicks out of the full. Good harassment from Eddie Betts.
How wide do the Tigers go? Last couple of times they've gone forward. They've gone near the paintwork and gone over it there.
Joseph goes backwards. Finds Bauer. And there's a familiar pattern here for Carlton. As Jamison takes the mark, and he goes wide to halfback. And guess who takes the mark? Number 8 for Thornton. Become a master at it in the last couple of years.
He does. You've got to play through his opponents, but he hasn't got the experience. The Richmond Tigers haven't got enough experience up forward to play through him.
Poor kick by Jamison into the middle. Spills free. Here's Martin. Haven't seen a lot of him so far in his first game. Handballs over to Connors, who gives it off to Roberts. Roberts can go all the way. He bangs at goal, but misses and misses badly. Just gets a point for his efforts.
Just on Connors, it's amazing what a new coach can do, Rob, and I reckon he's really dropped about 4 or 5 kilos, and he's now got 9 disposals, can play through the midfield forward, and he's really impressed so far in this match.
Here's Bauer giving to Robinson and Carazzo. The standard declining through this second quarter. Clever from Yaron, but then he dropped the mark. Tackle may have been a bit high. He gets a free kick though for holding it. Now
50 metre.
The other way. So a hold on the player who had the ball originally and then was retarded, it would seem. That was Jackson, and yes, Yaron held on to him after the ball had slipped away. So a 50-metre penalty, and he can have a shot at goal.
And they need the goal, Tim. We're almost 18 minutes into this second term. The Tigers yet to kick a goal in this second quarter.
It's as though everyone got up and huffed and puffed in that opening quarter, and they turned on a memorable 30 minutes of football, but in the second, they're all a little burnt out.
Admire this fella with the footy. Really works hard. Sacrifices for his teammates week in, week out.
Tigers leading disposal earner. Shocking kick. That is a wasted one. Should have been a goal. Got absolutely nothing.
Well, he just ambled in. There was no momentum up when he came in to have his shot at goal. He just ambled in, so he's got no rhythm, no balance, no speed, and just a hack at the footy.
Kick was touch, so play on is the call. Driven into the ground was Cochin. No free kick, umpire let it go. Newman's handball's intercepted. Murphy, deft little touch. Oh, that was a fantastic kick to Yaron, who goes into the pocket. He's looking for weight. He lost his feet, and McGuan didn't, and that was well played under pressure from McGuan. Gives it off to Thursfield, and that's downfield. Roberts chips over the top to Cochin, who looks exhausted.
Hot day, of course.
Yeah.
And they'd be really feeling it.
They say Trent Cochin only was able to do 50% of the pre-season, so I cannot wait to see him get a full pre-season and what he can do for the Tigers.
And Morton's outnumbered here, but somehow it spills to Jackson, who backs himself. Now forced to handball, and Carlton seek the solace of the boundary line.
Andrew Carrazzo in picture, 23 disposals, and you just see how far in front he is of all the other players on the ground. His 100th match for the Blues, and acting skipper tonight in the absence of Chris Judd.
Morton had it for a moment. Rewalt and Jackson did too, but McLean comes away with it. And he's made an impressive debut for the Blues. It's number 24 now for Carrazzo, and that's a beauty. To O'Halpin on the lead. Nothing forward of him. Couple of men running down the ground. One of them is Yaron, who is showing class with every move. Although that wasn't his best of the night. This isn't bad. Could he finish it? Well, he does even better than have a shot. He finds a man in just the right position, and that man is Bryce Gibbs.
He looks absolutely stuffed, Chris Yaron. I wouldn't be surprised if they get him off. He's worked pretty hard. He's got to get himself fitter. He's 100% fitter than he was this time last year. He's got plenty of moves, we can see that, and good composure under pressure to set Gibbs up.
Well, they asked who would kick Carlton's goals. They've had 7 goal kickers so far. This man hasn't been one of them. Equal 9th in the Brownlow last year in his 3rd season. Delightful skills, kicks the goal, and the Blues lead by 39.
And there's Chris Yaron there, and he needs an oxygen mask at the moment.
Bryce Gibbs has a spell.
Set shot for goal. It's what wins your games. And Daniel Jackson, it kills your side when you miss shots like that. And then players go down the other end like Bryce Gibbs and nail them. And it's a 2-goal turnaround.
Robinson the clearance to Carrazzo, but that's not a great kick. As Connors reloads for Richmond. Looks for a revolt. And in the back. Lucky break there for the Tigers. And he finds a teammate inside 50. And that teammate is Adam Thompson.
Adam Thompson, Rob, he's been in the system for this his 6th season, so it's make or break for Adam Thompson in season 2010, and his side desperately needs a goal now. He was taken pick 11 to Port Adelaide in the 2004 draft.
28 games for the Power, just 2 for the Tigers. 23 years of age now. Must kick goal for Richmond. No.
Too close to the man on the mark there, Adam Thompson.
Well,
started in.
You could, one thing Damien Hardwick will do in the next few days is get the video out and show Ben Cousins missing, Jackson missing, Thompson missing.
Naha's earlier as well.
Yeah, it just kills you. It just kills you. You get your opportunities, you've got to grab them.
Tigers fought back in the first quarter. It's hard to see them coming back a second time.
Carlton have taken 66 marks, Rob, to Richmond's 25. Do you see a change in their game style in terms of using each other in the match?
I think the Blues are really looking to hit targets. You know, there's not many just general kicks forward, particularly going into their forward 50, which I like. Look, they knew they had to come up with something with the absence of Favola. Now he's stuffed as well. Brock McLean, time to get him off.
Nason gets it moving here. Cousins and Thompson has another go, and this time he makes it.
Badly needed goal for the Tigers. Matthew, you're the goal-kicking genius.
He needed to go back there, quarters. I know you get ribbed from the crowd, but he got way too close to the man on the mark, stuttered. And it's amazing, though. Nigel Lappin really struggled as a set shot, but loved it on the run, and Adam Thompson might be another one like that.
Best time to think about it.
Exactly.
Well, there's only about 4 minutes to go before half-time. Carlton's put Warnock to full forward, and I reckon part of the deal here is to give the midfielders a bit of a spell, because they look as if they're struggling a bit at the moment. A few of those Carlton mids.
Martin releases the ball to Nason. And he's tackled by Cruiser.
Rolled him in the tackle.
What do you think of that haircut, Rob?
Thanks, mate.
Nason.
Hope he can play. Great opportunity, isn't it, to come into league football and play MCG season opener in front of at least 60,000
Well,
people.
this is the first time he's ever been to the MCG, believe it or not. What a first visit for young Nason. Now, Deledio under a lot of pressure, coughs up the footy. Good handball by Cruiser to Anderson, to Scotland, to McLean. Decides not to go the Carazzo route and gives it wide over to Joseph. Goes to half forward, looking for Warnock. Couldn't take the mark. Rove by McGuan. And gives it to Edwards. And he kicks to half forward. It's marked by Revolt.
The goal unguarded. There's virtually no one in the 50. And he runs it. But he runs it wide. And it's a behind. A little bit of behind post would have been a preferable result. But now it's Carlton's ball. And the Blues waste no time. Russell stabbing it. Who was he after there? That was an abysmal effort. Straight to Nahas. The errors flowing in this second quarter. The game losing its way. Nahas. Rewalt sets himself.
Good grab.
Oh, good grab. Strong hands. 2 against him.
That's where Tim, Michael Jamieson, I rate as one of the best spoilers in the competition. He got off him, and Joey Anderson was caught in the mismatch, and he just wasn't as strong in the air. And Nick Rewalt's got a fantastic pair of hands and takes
So's Jack.
He has, and Jack, sorry, and he's as good a contested mark as there is in the Richmond side.
She's pretty hard hit at Cousins' back of the head there. There's no doubt the Carlton plan is to physically work him over.
Here's where he's got to nail him. He's missed a few early in his career. He's got to nail these ones 30 metres out directly in front.
And to pull it back to a gettable 25 points approaching half-time. And Jumping Jack does it. Tigers still around.
Well, it is a warm night. They can't get to halftime quickly enough, these blokes. They're all coming off rubber leg. They're sucking in the big, deep breaths. They've been hit by the intensity of this first round game on a very warm night down here, and they're all feeling it.
Cochin somehow gets boot to ball. Not a very effective kick. Leading the races, Scotland just bounces off a couple of Tigers. Did it beautifully. To Gibbs, to Robinson. Russell's kick finds McLean. What's he going to do with it? In 2 minds. Bit of indecision there, cost the Blues. There's Deludio's tackle, got to be careful here. He's gone. That's the rule.
Give it up now, Brett. Give it up. God for the ball.
And the free kick is going to Russell.
Got Cruiser and O'Halpin down in the square.
Leads on from O'Halpin. Can't get there. It's chopped off by Edwards. This kick finds Jackson, who's having disposal number 16, so he's been as busy as ever. Runner-up in the best and fairest last year. Well, that's a push. Or another great piece of acting, one of the two.
Gee, a goal would be handy.
Hislop to half forward. It's a good spoil on Revolt by Bauer.
Brock McLean coming off the ground. He's had 2 kicks and 13 disposals, so he's using the hands. That was definitely a free kick, nudging him under the play there, but Brock's just using his other speedier midfielders.
Jackson, quick kick inside 50. Anderson, oh, he lost it. He's holding the ball. He's gone. What a great tackle. And this is a big kick for the Tigers as we near half-time. Great tackle from Morton. There's Brock McLean.
And Daniel Jackson, don't underestimate the importance of Jackson, who read that ruck contest superbly, got underneath it, got the quick kick into the forward line.
This to make it a 19-point difference as we hit half-time. He's much better just playing on, running around the corner and kicking like that. We know he's not the best set shot. Mitch Morton on half-time. Important kick for the Tigers. And he has got it. Never looked like missing. 19 points at half-time. Matthew Lloyd.
Yeah, it's 2 goals to Morton, 2 goals to Rewalt, and like the first quarter, they've been the better side in the second part of that quarter, and it's fantastic. 19 points, it's anybody's game.
As we start the third quarter, it's the Blues by only the 19 points, so it's game on here for the season opener in 2010. We start with a free kick, and it's going Richmond's way, and it's going to be taken by Jackson, who wastes no time, but that's a good mark. Taken at half-back by Bauer. Gives it off to Russell. Comes back to the members' side, and the mark's taken by Walker.
Carlton again starting with Jared Waite up forward.
Here is Waite. A long way from goal. But he has the mark and the kick.
Henderson up in the forward line. O'Halpin, Eddie Betts.
Goes back to Thornton.
There's a full ground press on here, Rob, and I've watched Richmond over the whole pre-season, and I didn't see a lot of it in the first half, but they've been able to employ it here now.
Jeff, Richmond could make the early running in this quarter. They are right in this game.
Well, the amazing thing, Tim, is they've had more scoring shots. We spoke about their inaccuracy in that second quarter. You know, they're in the contest. There's no doubt about that. They could have been much closer had they kicked straighter. So it's certainly game on.
Carlton, on the other hand, with incredible accuracy. In fact, their most accurate first half in a match since 1970. That's a clever banana kick from Simpson. O'Halpin couldn't mark it. Betts to Gibbs. A bit too much hook. It'll stay alive for Henderson. The last bounce wasn't good for him. Thursfield did well. Tambling put the head down, drew the tackle, wins the free kick.
Bit lucky there, ducked the head.
It's back in round 20 of 1970. Carlton kicked 11 straight in a half against Hawthorn. 40 years later, they've just about reproduced it. Koch and a little skidder into the middle. Hislop lively early. Simmons back to Hislop. Poor hand pass. Cruiser for Scotland. Carlton's free. Yes, Carlton's free kick for a hold.
Look, the handball of Simmons was just dreadful. He missed the target from 3 metres away and caused the turnover.
Eddie Betts pops one over the top to Houlihan. Here on the left boot. Oh, good kick and a beautiful mark out in front of his face taken by Henderson.
And Matty, they're not easy to take. A spearing ball and you're on the lead going at full tilt. I respect players' abilities, and you know, something that you certainly did in your career, but not that easy to take when they're coming hard at you like that.
I'd be happy with that. Just the 2 disposals in the first half, and he started the first quarter well. Can he do it here in the third?
Yeah, kicked a goal early in the first term. The Blues lead by 20.
Just the disposal there, though, of Scotland to Lockie Henderson. Trent Koch and just missed the target through the centre corridor. That's the difference between these two sides, I think, just the disposal level.
Might be time the Blues started missing their first shot in the second half. Here's a miss. Martin for Richmond. Well, that's not a great kick. Oh, it is a great kick. In fact, it was absolutely perfect to Deledio over Robinson. Now Nason. And this might be a promising move. Nahas mown down by Gibbs. Scotland's been steady. Bauer pumping it forward. Henderson again into the 50, and Waite over the top has got it within range for the Blues.
That's what turnovers do. It's just saw Damien Hardwick in the box cursing. That's the second loopy handball there's been in the game. And you see a darting kick from Lockie Henderson, and that's what forwards want.
Tambling goes inboard. And the mark's taken by Morton.
Look, they're lively, Richmond, when you've got Morton and Jack Riewoldt in that forward line. Been very impressed with Riewoldt's ability to read the play and get out in front.
Mitch Morton's kicked 1 goal 1 so far tonight. He's kicking from about 40 metres out. No problem with the angle. It's the Blues by 25.
We just saw Robin Nahas coming off the ground. Aaron Joseph, ever since he took on Gary Ablett in that NAB Cup game, he takes scalp after scalp, week after week. Robin Nahas, just the 10 disposals.
Mitch Morton would nail that shot 9 times out of 10. That was the number 10, and the Tigers so badly needed it. Carlton escaped from their back half. Mark Howard, you've got some news.
Chris Sharon came off with a concern with his knee, boys. The doc's taking him down the rooms. And if fitness comes into this in the second half, didn't drop below 27 degrees in that first half, so there's going to be some tired boys in the final quarter.
The big bloke didn't place that kick too well, Rob, and he's kicked it to a big Richmond man. Vickery! Oh, big collision. Comes out to Richmond's advantage. Cochin, and this is good. The skipper Newman from a long way. It's a long kick, but it's offline.
I reckon Carlton need to get Warnock off because he's struggling a bit at the moment, and Cruz is sitting on the bench. Cruz has had a terrific game. Get him out there in the ruck.
Jeez, they've had a couple of chances, the Tigers. There's big Warnock.
Where you are, Tom? Stay there! Stay there!
Give it off.
He's trying.
50 metres!
Oh, 50 metres.
50!
Well, the umpire didn't call play on, that's right.
It's his first game for 2 years, big Warnock, so you've got to give him some credit, but you've got to get a midfielder near him. We see Mark Murphy running close to him just to get some handball. That's it.
Tallest Carlton player since Harry Madden.
Murphy floats one inside 50. Vickery stood his ground. Here's Edwards. Good handball.
He's having about as many problems as Harry's got at the moment tonight too.
Not quite. And the mark's taken by Nason. That's not the best of kicks. Thompson got caught high. And fair enough decision from the umpire. And that was a little bit lucky for Thompson.
Come away from the mark. No, come away from the mark. Bring it back.
So Carlton by 4 goals.
Bit different from the first quarter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just one goal kicked.
Cousins. No mark, but did well to recover. And a beautiful handball. That's great stuff from Cousins. Connors able to shake the tackle, then get boot to ball, but only as far as Warnock. And they might get hit on the rebound here, the Tigers, as Carlton have got a few loose players across half forward. One of them is no help, and he chips across to Scotland. Scotland into the pocket. No.
Had the right idea. Betts was running goal, but he was trying to get it to him, but just couldn't get quite the freedom on the kick to do as he wanted. Good effort by Waite with the late tackle to allow Carlton to start that move. Can they finish? Eddie Betts might. He doesn't. It's another behind. Goals are hard to come by now. Carlton lead by 25. Here's Jared Waite's chase and just reduced the depth in Connor's kick, and the interception came.
Newman will probably kick to himself here. There's not much on offer, and that's exactly what he does. Now he finds a hole. Oh, he couldn't hit a teammate though. Comes back to Waite from 45, and Waite has missed. What a quarter this is turning out to be. Just error after error.
It is, and the players, you can train all you like. You can run 150s, 1Ks, but until you get out there in match pressure, you just can't get that match fitness, and they'll be better for this run next week and the week after.
Next goal's a big one. Connors clears without finding a target.
Matty, the importance of tackling over your career, how much emphasis when you started, how much emphasis today?
Well, you virtually won't be picked if you can't improve on your tackling or be a quality tackler. especially in the forward line, whereas we never had to do it too much, Rob, in the early days. But we look at the Bulldogs now, and I reckon they have gone past St Kilda and will go past them this season because they've matched them and they use the ball better, and that was a standout for the Dogs in the NAB Cup.
Cruiser climbing in for the Blues, giving Murphy a chance. He is getting better with every season. That was good, but so was that from Will Thursfield. Reaching around O'Halpin, making a spoil when it really looked as though it was the Carlton man's ball. Perhaps O'Halpin should have had the hands extended. Cruiser and Simmons with Warnock third in line. Butch Edwards for the Tigers. Here's Gibbs. Betts to Walker, but desperate smother from Thompson for Richmond. The Tigers are hanging in. Game not done with yet.
And Carlton going with the 2 ruckmen at this boundary throw-in, half-forward flank.
So Simmons takes them on both, and Warnock just reached over the top, got the tap. Over to Connors, though. Thompson tackled well, forced to release. In there is Martin. Spills to Warnock. The big fella gets a little left boot to it. Ineffective kick comes to Connors. Not much on offer. And he goes long and wide and straight down the throat of Houlihan. He kicks to Carazzo. Richmond getting numbers back deep. Kicks to the tip of the goal square. Big pack fly.
Thursfield's done a fantastic job on O'Halpin, just a 5 disposal. Amazingly, couldn't get a game under Terry Wallace, and it was the change of coach with Jade Rawlings coming into the club. It got him back in the side.
Here's Betts swooping, but the ball just wouldn't quite sit for him. He fought on bravely. McLean, a loopy hand pass to Henderson, and he might be in some trouble. It comes out. Murphy. Moore's got him. Ball up. Carlton pressing, Tigers holding. Just 1 goal kicked in almost 2/3 of the quarter. Next one's a biggie. Tambling gets it to Moore before the Gibbs tackle. Cool kick from Kelvin Moore. Finds Relton Roberts. Waits, man from the Northern Territory, but has played country football in Victoria. Cruiser getting an important hand in. Gibbs waits, goes for Houlihan, bad miss, puts himself under the pump, but dances out of it like Robert Flower, and dances some more, and then gives it away to Carazzo with the left. Big ask for Betts, he steals it, he wobbles it, wrong side of the post.
Gee, Houlihan had that ball for a long time. I thought he might have been pinged for going too far.
Rob, what about Matty Cruiser below his knees? We've seen that Nui and Houlihan here. That was a class act. He was spent by the time he had the handballer, but Matty Cruiser below his knees, is there a better ruckman in the game? Probably aside from that Nui, I suppose.
Yeah, no, he's a beauty. He's an all-round player, isn't he? Like he's a ruckman, but he's also a midfielder with his athleticism.
Cochin handballs to Nason. Long kick inside 50. Vickery's there. Got to beat a couple of Blues.
Yeah, good
Not a
body
bad
work.
result in the end, yeah.
Good body work, Vickery, to keep the ball locked in. Well done, big fella.
Carlton by 27. Simmons against Cruiser. Simmons pitches it. Handballs back to Thompson. Good tackle by Yarra. Now Tambling. Good hard-at-it stuff too from McLean. Martin to Edwards. Back inside 50 go the Tigers. Nason in front has it knocked away. Nahas gets bowled over by Robinson. Now Simpson to Cruiser to McLean. And he's got a loose man on centre wing, and it's Eddie Betts, and he can mark and go. He'll handball over to Carazzo. Disposal racking up for the Carlton acting captain. And a short pass finds Yaron.
Thank you, that's it.
30 disposals now for Carazzo. Lead from Waite ignored. He goes short, back to Betts.
That's clever. That's clever because he knew he couldn't go the distance, Yarra. He didn't rush himself. He just waited. There were multiple leads. There would have been half a dozen, 8 leads He just waited, and you can see the space opened up. Now the kick only is about a 15-20 metre kick, but the important thing, it puts Fast Eddie within easy kicking distance.
And Connors had no arm or body contact on Eddie Betts there, and took his eyes off the ball.
2-2 for Eddie Betts tonight. And it's home. Carlton now lead by 33. He's been a busy player tonight. 15 disposals, 5 marks, 4 tackles, 3 goals too, racking up the dream team points.
Just have a look at Daniel Connors here, furthest from your screen on Eddie Betts. Just could not go with him. And you just can't afford to let a player get an easy disposal like that and kick a goal.
Betts produces the drought breaker. We went from the 3-minute mark to the 20-minute mark between goals, both kicked by Carlton, and that's a decisive one. Now Yaron, who's done some good things. Now, who's going to get to that first? The Tigers look to have it covered. Moore taking it over. It's okayed. You can get away with a lot now.
Well, I know, exactly right, Tim. This time last year, I reckon that would have been a goal. That was as deliberate as you'll see.
Well, you're the expert. You got Daniel Pratt over the line that day.
The first one.
For one of only 2, was it, for the year that rewarded? Here's Tambling, kicking to nobody. And Anderson mops it up for the Blues. Bauer, Murphy, Russell. Scotland knows what to do when he gets it, but he's gone very wide, and it's out on the full. Tigers ball.
Not like Heath Scotland to make mistakes like that. There's another shot of victory, and Damien Hardwick happy to play 2 big ruckmen on the ground at once.
Kick goes in the victory direction. No more. Here's Nason from 50. Kicks for goal, and he threads it through. Well done. An opportunist goal from Ben Nason, his first in league football, and keeps Richmond in the contest.
Few of the young Tigers wearing high numbers. Nason in 47, Relton Roberts in 50, the star draft recruit Dustin Martin in 36. And Damien Hardwick said he reckons that's the way it should be. They earn their low numbers. Here's a lead from O'Halpin and a good snare for the Blues.
Well, I reckon that's fair enough. You don't put them on Hollywood Boulevard until they've earned it. Don't put them in those low numbers quarters.
What number do you start with, Rob?
42.
42, and stuck with it.
I did.
Would you start with, Matthew?
My father wore 18 for the Navy Blues, so I asked for it, and they gave it to me quarters.
Got a claret out of the nose of Matthew Cruiser, nothing too serious.
O'Halpin kicked one in the first quarter, misses big time here. Just scores it behind. The Blues have lost the compass. They had 11-1 at half-time. They now have 13-7. They lead by 29 points.
Carlton have a full ground zone here, so it's getting harder and harder as the game slows up. Players are starting to zone more and go one-on-one in the game.
Connors kicks long, picked by O'Halpin. Lucky not to give away a free kick there. Simpson to Houlihan. Handballs back to O'Halpin. Stabs the pass on the left inside 50. Tigers out of danger. Edwards. Oh, his handballs missed the target again from about 2 or 3 metres away. O'Halpin reloads, kicks towards goal, and another turnover proves extremely costly for the Tigers.
You'll see everything from Satanta O'Halpin this year, the good, the bad and the ugly. Saw him miss a set shot before, loads up from outside 50. Eddie Betts, fantastic, prepared to get poleaxed to make sure that ball carries the line.
You'd sack him, wouldn't you, Lloydie? That's the second time he's done something like that tonight. Tigers desperate for a goal or two now. Cousins can go back and have a shot.
Not sure he'll make the distance from here. It's not his strong point enough to kick from just inside 50 or on the 50-metre line.
Well, you've got that distance at his best.
He would have lost a yard.
He's kicked 210 goals in his career.
He's a pro. He's done it. He's done just enough. And the Tigers pull one back.
Ben Cousins' body language been great tonight, and she's inspiring his young team with that goal there from 50 metres.
And Aaron Joseph continues to stalk him. Cousins not quite enjoying the treatment. Just gave him a little one back there. The umpire came in and just warned him. Nothing too sinister in it. As the margins cut back again to 29. Edwards caught high. They just pinch a goal here, Richmond, give themselves a sneaky chance. He goes long and high and wide to Nason, who's got about 40 metres on his nearest opponent. Now, can he use it? He has a bounce. He goes long. It's not a bad kick towards Revolt. Morton from the side come up, but Carlton getting lots of numbers back. Working hard, the Carlton defence. Push deep. And they come away with the football now through Anderson, who kicks to half forward on the members' side. And Robinson is beaten by the boundary line. Here's Ben Cousins just giving Joseph a little nudge.
Stalked, probably a pretty good word, Quarters, and he might feel it's the same off the field as well, bearing in mind the attention that is paid to his life these days. Tigers gained 40 metres or so, just over a minute left. 29 points the difference. Carlton having the better of the quarter, have kicked 3 goals, 6. The Tigers 2-2. Not quite over yet though. 29 points, although on tired legs with debilitated bodies, it's a big climb back. Here's Tambling for the Tigers. Good smother by Big Warnock. Edwards to Jackson. Simmons just couldn't get himself into the right spot. Thornton doing the job for the Blues, but still it's there, and the Tigers have a chance to score.
This is interesting. Warnock's come off, and Cruz is absolutely sprinting to get there to contest the back pocket throw-in.
And he does get there. It's the tap. Here's Cousins tapping it back in the Cochin direction. Jackson caught one high. Blues out of danger here. Half a minute left in the third quarter, and that's a ship it off the ball. Wasn't a lot in it against Robinson.
Yeah, he's just got to pull his head in a bit. He's got to pull his head in a bit, Mitch Robertson.
Free kick going to Nahas.
31 seconds on the clock. The last thing Carlton need is for Richmond to come back late in this third term.
Play on, you're coming in.
And off the ball again, there's more. But that's silly by Vickery. Silly by Vickery.
Against you now. High tackle, your free kick. High tackle back here, Mitch Robertson. Hey. Yeah, well, I haven't got 4 eyes.
What did you say? I haven't got 4 eyes?
Yeah, put some glasses on.
Well, they've got the OPSM sponsorship now. He could if he wanted to.
I tell you what, your heart's in your mouth with Mitch Robertson.
Bauer to Henderson. And it looks as though we'll go to three-quarter time with Carlton 29 points to the good. There's the bell. So Carlton winning the third quarter, extending the lead. And Tyrone Vickery perhaps squandering Richmond's last chance of a score late in the term, but perhaps they needed one final goal if they were to be in a position to win this game.
Yeah, they did, but you know, they're in the match, 29 points. It's still gettable in this last quarter, so first goal vitally important at the start of this last quarter.
So we start the final term. It's Carlton by 29 points. Give you some news shortly about the grievance tribunal hearing tonight involving Andrew Lovett. And we get a break in play. McLean with the first possession. Gives it to Scotland, to Joseph. To half forward. Only as far as Kelmore.
It's a real worry for Carlton that if Jamison, they'll win the game tonight, you'd think, but for their future, he's so important to their setup, Rob.
Oh, absolutely, Matty. Missed most of the second half last year, really hurt the Blues. The worry is you look at him, he's on the bench at the moment, his shoulders are so heavily strapped.
Cochin, good kick inside 50. Thompson should go back and have a shot. He's within range. He wind up quickly, doesn't spend too much time thinking about it. Only a point for his efforts. Now the AFL Grievance Tribunal sat tonight, heard submissions from all parties, including St Kilda, Andrew Lovett's legal team and the Victoria Police. And it's been announced that a decision on the matter will be made next Thursday, April the 1st. So we might have that case wound up on April 1. Andrew Lovett against the St Kilda Football Club.
Good effort by Henderson there for the Blues. Gets it to Carazzo, to O'Halpin.
Well, they're certainly trying to put the ball to players on the lead. That's what they've worked all summer. You can see that has been the emphasis at Carlton in the absence of Favola.
Sits it for Gibbs, who doesn't let him down.
Smart kick.
Martin in an awful position there with Gibbs with the sit. A hanging ball from O'Halpin, kicked well. He's got some smarts, Satanta. Still learning the game after 6 or 7 years, but is capable of doing some good things. And now Bryce Gibbs, with 1 goal for the night, should kick this and just about put it out of Richmond's reach. And he does everything well. Carlton by 34.
So Matthew Cruiser in the 3rd quarter, that's how he copped his blood nose. And he gets one back here. His arms failing everywhere. Gibbs 2 goals. He's also had 18 possessions. Had a pretty reasonable night.
Your arm went over his shoulder, bro. You're under the pump. You're under the pump, then. You would have been tackled.
Isn't that rule where you play on if you decide to take the advantage that it's your bad luck if you're tackled?
Good point, Matthew. The ball goes inside 50. That's a terrific mark taken by Tambling, directly in front.
Tim, from where we were in Launceston, the rules to where they've come 4 weeks later have just dramatically changed. All these rules I haven't seen tonight at all.
Well, they've just loosened up on a couple of the ones that they were applying very strictly that night.
Richard Tambling from right on 50.
It's disappointing. Disappointing for Tambling. Dead set in front. Less than 50 metres out. He's only had the 8 disposals in the first 3 quarters.
And half of Richmond's side have had under 10 disposals, which just shows it absolutely kills you. And Carlton have had 100 more disposals on the night.
Jordan Russell missing a target on the kick in, and that is a flaw in his game at times.
They've done a good job, Rob, shutting down their big guns, hasn't they? Haven't they? Only 16 to Cousins, 15 to Cochin, and only 14 to Delidio.
Yeah. And if Richmond haven't got players like Cochin, Delidio, Tambling and Cousins racking up disposals, well, it's always going to be a struggle for them, and it has been tonight.
So a ball up, it's become a bit of an ugly maul at times in the second half after an exhilarating opening quarter of football, which 11 goals were kicked. Simmons the tap here. Connors hits it hard, back to Simmons. Deledio getting it to Martin. Hasn't made a big impact tonight, but I'm sure he will before this season's too old. Cochin sweeps it to Moore. And that's a good kick towards Rewald, but he just ran under it. Walker mops it up for the Blues. As McLean loose. Russell gives it back. McLean to Bauer. Carlton exercise the advantage here. Scotland weaving his way through. Carazzo now too far out to score. Gives O'Halpin a one-on-one chance. He was well covered though by McGuan. Still a chance for the Irishman. Funny little hand pass. McGuan snares it. Goes for Roberts. Over the top though, Joseph. Going the spoil initially and then able to get it at the second bite.
Looking for someone to pass it to. Now he's got a couple of little leads.
Once again, just far too easy in the forward 50, giving a shot up on goal with no pressure whatsoever from the Tigers.
Mark taken by Simpson. Well, as I said earlier in the match, he's got a remarkable record. Has not missed a game for Carlton in 4 seasons.
Geez, Quarters, there's a bit going on off the ball just then between Tambling and Carazzo.
Simpson, nice looking kick. Oh, that's a ripper. So it was all set up by a great mark from Aaron Joseph. And he showed a lot of patience. Finally found a teammate in Simpson who, from a difficult angle, drilled home a nice goal, his first for the evening.
Oh, that's messy. Walker fumbling at Cousins, getting it to Martin, to Tambling. Deledio, the high draft picks featuring, and Vickery, and now back to the Brownlow medalist Cousins. Richmond have 6 top 10 draft picks in their team tonight. Pretty interesting when you think about it, and there are some good ones or some high picks who aren't playing. Here's Waite, looping it to Carazzo. Goes to the hot spot. O'Halpin, a couple against him. Betts arriving for the Blues. Not much resistance, and the kick around the corner. Here's Eddie Betts. Did it hit the post? He clipped the inside of the padding. It's a behind. It's rather shocked Eddie. He thought it was home for all money. The margin's 40.
3 goals, 3 to Eddie Betts. And Tammany with that with one hand, did he? He had a bit of cramp there.
And how wide have they gone, Rob? You made the call earlier in the night, but they don't give them too much of a chance if they make a turnover, just because they're going so wide.
Well, you've got limited space to play in, haven't you? I've got to say, I'm impressed with the fitness of Warnock. He's been able to go all night in the ruck.
Here's the first game of Martin. Off to Hislop. He gives it back to Martin. Long left boot inside 52 against 1 again. Should have been disciplined in getting numbers back tonight, Carlton. They help their mates. And Bauer finds Scotland, who pops it over the top. Guess who? Carazzo for number 37. And a short one in the middle.
He might have a TV coming his way, Quarters.
He may well do. Simpson to Murphy to Cruiser. Couldn't take the mark, but he'll follow up here. Good pick up for the big man. To Henderson. Was mowed down by a couple of Tiger tackles. Hislop blind turned himself. And he's been caught. Well done, Cruiser. Good effort from the big fella. And Carlton get the ball, and there's danger coming, I reckon, for the Tigers here.
They were queuing up. And it was Bryce Gibbs at the head of the queue receiving the pass from Waite. And Gibbs can line up for his third. And he's taken the 3 marks in the forward 50, Tim, has Bryce Gibbs. He's a pretty accurate kick, already kicked the 2. And it was the one area of his game I felt he needed to improve in. And that was to become a goal kicker, especially with Favola no longer in the team.
Just previous there, Rob, Benny Cousins was absolutely spent. I've never seen that before. I thought he'd take another bounce, have a shot for goal, but he's just blazed away to no one. And he does look a bit skinnier there, Tim. You're right, he isn't as defined as he was.
He's been
Thank you, Matthew.
He has been in hospital. Give him a break.
Jeez, you two blokes are hard.
We're showing him. We're just giving you the facts. That's what we're here for. Here comes Gibbs. From just inside 50, and it's wide. Carlton's lead 41 points. Bryce Gibbs, 2 goals, 1.
What do you think of Tony Abbott and his speedos, Tim, while you're at it?
He's pretty good, but he could bulk up a bit, I think. He's doing an Ironman triathlon.
Farmer to Newman. Walker across the face, out on a full.
One player who's impressed me tonight, Tim, has been Wolsey's whipping boy over the last few years, Jordan Russell. He's made one mistake, but Wolsey, you're on to Mitch Robinson tonight, but Russell's been a great player for the Blues tonight.
It's taken him a while, but he's started to get there. 16th.
That's deliberate.
That's got to be close.
Ooh,
you can do anything now, you can.
Say something nice, Wolsey, about Jordan Russell. He's been fantastic tonight.
Agree with me, Murray?
100%, Matthew Lloyd. You're a welcome addition.
Here's Gibbs. Oh, this game really has degenerated over the last 10 minutes. Ball yells the Carlton fans. And there's McLean.
Daniel Jackson's in trouble.
Now it spills to Murphy. Can he finish? No. That's a tired kick. Betts. Kick smothered. Still 10 metres out from Carlton's goal. Betts will have another crack. Handballs backwards to Yaron. Surely. Third goal to Chris Yaron. As Jackson is being escorted off. He doesn't want to come off, but he is.
Says a bit about the character of the man. He didn't want to come off the ground having been swiped by his teammate Dustin Martin. It's a fairly solid frame from an 18-year-old, and Greg Hickey, the doctor, was telling him to come off here and look at Daniel Jackson right there. No, I don't want to come off, but in the end he had no option. He's seeing stars and wouldn't know that it's Thursday night right now.
Martin having his best quarter of the night, getting the feel of it, although it has slowed, it must be said. That goal from Yaron followed 15 seconds in which it looked as though they were playing in quicksand.
It's been all class tonight, Tim. Chris Yaron, 3 goals on the night, 12 disposals, and he and Eddie Betts are going to form a sensational partnership this season.
So Carlton's lead 48 points. It's going to be a comfortable win. Edwards for the Tigers. Did well then to wrestle that out to Farmer. Henderson at the drop almost marked the kick. Hislop, though, gets it off to Thursfield. Tigers out of trouble for a moment, maybe not for long. It's 3-on-2 over here. Carlton's way. Bauer, Russell, now Thornton, Russell again, and now Bauer again. And that's how to play a 3-on-2. Use the numbers. Bauer kicks long, but McGuan courageously. The match lost, but just not flinching there. Bravely, Connors comes away with it. Now Koch and Betts comes at him hard, and just put on enough pressure to pull the kick short. Simpson marks it.
I wonder if we'll ever see a fit Cochin, because he had a 10-metre start on Eddie Betts and got run down.
Still only 19 years of age, Trent, so long road ahead for him. Been trouble with the Achilles.
Luke Hodge had a lot of problems early, didn't he? Different injuries, but eventually blossomed.
He's a class act. Eddie Betts being the best forward of the night. 3 goals, 3 in a real live wire. Set up numerous other opportunities for Carlton. Now he chips short. Beautifully done, and the mark's taken by Halpin.
But it just shows what patience can do. They didn't rush it. They waited, they waited, they waited. Sydney at its best 3 or 4 years ago did that all the time. Now, if Satanta kicks this, I'm going to say Fev who.
You've just said it.
There's no certainty.
O'Halpin's got 2. With those shiny new Adidas boots on, it'll be no problem. He slots it home. 3 goals to Setanta. Got a nice shiner for his work tonight too, Tim, isn't he?
Yeah, it doesn't bother him too much. He's taken a bit of punishment in this game. He was a hurler, and if you've ever watched that sport, you know what brave, crazy brave is.
Just on the right here near the point post, Calvin Moore just playing from behind. He should be in front. There's no way the ball can go. He should be in front because no way the ball can go over the back. So Justin Leppage has got a lot of work to do with his young backmen, just on taking the front position at times. They're not always playing from behind.
Carazzo, Scotland and Joseph work it away for the Blues. And McLean is able to get to the drop. Scotland, he's been good tonight. That's a lovely long ball, and big Setanta, the new Favola, had a chance. Oh, was that deliberate, Lloydie?
So that was nothing but deliberate.
He hammered it hard.
Yeah, but he's under pressure, so that's okay.
What?
Tigers out of defence. Martin. Up to 17 touches in the game.
He's played a bit better as the game gone on, Martin.
Ball spills to Simpson. To Houlihan. Tackled by Nahas. That's a good tackle by Revolt on Joseph. Nahas has another crack at it. And another throw. And you're talking about Carazzo maybe getting the television. What about Eddie Betts?
Eddie Betts has been terrific. He really has been a live wire up forward. He's taken marks. He's won contests. He's kicked goals. He's set goals up. He's been really good. And Brock McLean's got better too as the game's gone on. 19 handballs to McLean, most handballs of any player out there. And he's playing to his strengths, which you like to see.
Cruz has been very effective also too, night quarters.
Thompson for Richmond puts it deep inside 50, just kicking, hoping for the best really. Nothing much organised about it. And consequently Carlton easily come away with the spoils.
Jordan Russell, it's a career high possessions tonight. It's his 25th disposal.
Kick to the wing. Spoiler was Newman. Here's Vickery. Handballs to Moore on the members' wing. Kicks long to half forward, looking for Morton, and a good spoil from Russell. Damien Harwick in his first game as Richmond coach. Talk us through the body language, Rob.
Well, you see he's involved, he's getting upset. But hey, you like to see that. You'd like to see that, and he's a terrific choice for the Tigers. I've got no doubt about that. And with the restrictions that you've got with your drafting in the next couple of years, he's just going to have, he and the other coaches just going to have to live with this group that they've got.
As I mentioned, Richmond 6 top 10 draft picks playing tonight. They also have Ben Cousins, a Brownlow medalist. Thompson and Rewalt were round 1 draft selections. Polo and Hislop both came at 20. Graham Polak was a 4. He wasn't picked tonight. So it just goes to show a lot of good teams don't have those low numbers among those they've drafted over the years. And very few that have won premierships would have more top 10s than that. And Carlton too have 8 top 10s tonight. Chris Judd, of course, a 9th.
The Blues will be ecstatic with their forward line tonight, with 3 goals from Yaron, 3 from O'Halpin and 3 from Betts. The one player that probably hasn't worked into the game as well is Lockie Henderson. He probably just got to get to a lot more contests than he has tonight.
A couple of his marks on the far sled have been impressive. I agree with you, Matty. He's going to take. He's a work in progress as a forward.
Still think he's better suited to defence.
I think he is too. And just as a wild card, the bloke playing his 150th game for Carlton, Brett Thornton, is a very good defender, but he can take a good overhead mark. At times, I think he'll even play up forward for the Blues.
You've been talking him up ever since his mother got stuck into you up on the Gold Coast last year, Rob.
But Brett Thornton...
I'm squaring off.
Maybe we need Mrs. Russell to have a word to him, Tim.
Hey, it was a vicious blast, let me tell you.
Oh, yes.
Have we got any games in Tassie for Mrs. Robinson to get hold of you after tonight?
Don't mention Mrs. Robinson. This is a family show. Ball out in the forward pocket for the Tigers. Houlihan takes it wide and gets a free kick as Hislop brought him down.
He can't drag him to ground.
And these umpires with OPSM on their back, they're not going to make too many mistakes. So it's Carlton's ball. The Blues with a 55-point lead with not much time left. It's going to be the first time either of these teams has won 4 in a row against the other since Carlton's last premiership in '95. The Blues have won their last 3 against Richmond, and they're going to extend that sequence here. Gee, they've got a tough draw to come. Brisbane at the Gabba next Thursday night. Then they've got Essendon, Adelaide in Adelaide, and Geelong. Brendan Gale, Richmond CEO, looking on. Jordan Russell slotting it to Bauer, and Carlton just soaking up some seconds now. Anderson with the footy behind the wing for the Blues.
Who are playing for Vola next week? Robert Walsh?
Jamison.
What if he's not fit?
Well, probably Thornton you'd have to go. Although Bauer was really quick.
Yeah, I'd go Bauer. I think Thornton doesn't put enough body contact and his best sagging off and supporting the deep fullback.
Cruiser handballs to Murphy. Here's Warnock.
Don't handball the ruck.
Newman to Nahas.
See, Richmond go out wide again here. They've got to try and keep it in the corridor because they had it in the centre and they go back out onto the wings again.
Edwards will pop it over the top to Roberts. And he kicks towards Revolt. Oh, that's nicely chopped off. Almost the mark to Houlihan. Revolt goes in hard. And a bounce inside the Tigers attacking 50.
Rob, for Richmond supporters, what would you take out of tonight and what do they need to, what's their key areas they've got to work at? Putting on a spot, I know, but...
Yeah, look, I think the two fellas up forward, Morton and Riewoldt, I really like Riewoldt's ability to move and present well. I think he's been good for them. And Dustin Martin, I've been impressed with his debut. But beyond that, their ruck situation has been pretty grim tonight.
An open 50, O'Halpin, Thursfield with him, and support from Farmer. And missed by Edwards. Murphy just did enough to edge him off the ball and give himself time. Now McLean, and Satana's there again. And he should kick his 4th goal and be the highest scorer of the night, and it started with that miss from Edwards.
The most he's ever kicked in a game of AFL is 4 goals, so he will equal a career high, and just be wonderful for his confidence, Satanta.
Andy Marr down on the boundary talked him up before the game, Satanta.
Wasn't he confident,
He
Andy
was.
Marr?
He was.
Pre-game.
Well, for his rawness, he usually finds a way. Let's see if he can, and put Carlton more than 60 points in front. He can't. So he does finish with 3 for the night, and the Blues win the game by a thumping 56 points and start the 2010 season on the right note.
This has been a Fox